need to find this place or we'll be late.
Make a left on Astrology Avenue. Oh, I'm sorry, I meant right. It should be right here. 444 Spearway. Oh, turn.
It looks like Renee. Yay, we're on time. The James and Kellee Show.
Great, let's start the show.
Hi, Kellee.
Oh my gosh, how are you this evening?
I'm very well, thank you. And I just, you're hot over there, the 90 degrees in Wisconsin?
Yeah, it's around 90. It's something like that. In fact, it was so hot that we had to get our dogs kind of marine buzz cuts.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah, it's hot on the dogs.
How was your super moon experience? I never asked you that.
Oh, did you not receive? Did you see the super moon thing I sent you about moon glow?
No, I don't.
Oh my God, I did a bunch of crystals with the song Moon
Oh, yes,
Glow.
yes,
It was
yes,
amazing.
yes.
Oh my God, our experience was phenomenal. The energy was just, you could grab it. It was so thick.
The night before, the Tuesday, I was like buzzed out. I was like, wow. And it was,
Right?
I was in the water. I took a tub and I was like, oh, it was just taking
That's right.
It was great.
It was great. Wow.
Yeah, so things are good. And so tell us what's going on in the...
Well, we do have some astrological events that are coming up. So I thought I'd start with like some of the easier ones. You know, this is a year.
So nice of you.
It's so nice of me. I know. So this is kind of, we'll call this the year of the new abnormal. Okay. Because nothing's going to be normal going forward here. So currently, James, we've got Saturn in retrograde. Soon we're going to have Jupiter in retrograde. Yeah. And in Vedic astrology, yes. And then we're going to have Neptune retrograde. So plus we have Chiron in Aries retrograde. So it's a lot of things retrograde. The only one that is not yet currently in retrograde is Jupiter, but that comes along on July 28th. So it's a lot of retrograde.
Retrograde for people, it means we could say pause, right?
Yeah, when a planet, so it's so funny, James, that ancient astrologers actually believe that when a planet entered retrograde, it travels through the underworld, like unearthing our hidden knowledge and tapping into our shadow qualities that we often tend to ignore. And so it means a planet doesn't go backwards, but it really slows down a lot to bring us the messages, the information we need to help us grow and change.
So contemplation,
renew, review, all of the things.
Renew and review.
I mean, it's
renew, review, and release.
And release. Absolutely. Absolutely. So that's just the beginning stage of what I'm going to talk about, because now what happens is for the next 2 weeks, it's going to get pretty intense here. So let's just start with today. Today is July 18th, 2022. So July 18th, July 19th, and July 20th. That is, write this down, because Mercury and the Sun oppose Pluto. So Mercury in Cancer, the Sun in Cancer, and oppose Pluto in Capricorn. And I'm talking Vedic astrology here. It's a very intense combination for the next 3 days, July 18th, 19th, and 20th, because it's a day where with that opposition with Pluto, you know, Pluto really, it has that energy of transformation. And so this is a time that a lot of tempers can really get out of control here.
It's the underworld too, is it?
It's the underworld. It also could have to do with world leaders, because it's Mercury and the Sun. So it could have to do with a lot of world leaders changing here. It's just a very intense time here. So that's the next 3 days. And then on July 28th, we have Jupiter going retrograde. And again, in Vedic astrology, it's going in Pisces. And when that happens, it gives us a chance, you know, you asked really to rethink our thoughts, and it shows us the correct path in life often.
Yeah.
And so it's a really important when this happens. So I was going to say that whatever unfolds in your life during this Jupiter retrograde, just go into it. You know, look to see, you know, what is it that you need to deal with?
You're learning.
What is it that you're here to learn? It's a really important time actually when this happens. But the big event that I really want to talk about is what we call the astrological event of the year. And this This is on July 31st and August 1st.
Well, we'll
So
be back next Monday to talk about it.
we'll
right?
talk about it next week, but I kind of want to prepare people for this energy. It's a triple, it's a lot. It's Mars, Rahu, and Uranus all come together at the same 24 degrees of Aries, and Saturn squares all of this. So what does this
Oh my
mean?
goodness.
Yeah, James, it's so big that in Vedic astrology, they say that this conjunction, this triple conjunction, the last time this happened would have been 1855, right before the Civil War.
Wow.
But in Western astrology, it's in Taurus, and the last time this happened, so it's the same event, but two different lenses to look at it. The last time they say this happened was 2,500 years ago.
Wow.
So this is going to be a big one, and definitely we'll talk about it next week. But Mars is the planet of war, and it's in its own rulership of Aries. If I go by Vedic astrology, Uranus means paradigm shift, and it's also the Great Awakener. And the north node of the moon in Vedic astrology is called Rahu, and that's really all about the growth of the soul, and it's our life purpose, and it goes into uncharted territory. So this is going to be a very intense time, and it might have some explosive events around the world, actually.
What about the square, Kellee? You said it's square.
Saturn.
Or Saturn, the teacher.
Yeah.
The great.
And so it's those three planets, Mars, Rahu, and Uranus.
So there's no way with that combination of those aspects something can't happen.
It's correct. It may not happen on July 31st or August 1st, but
it's rumbling.
It's right there, and we're headed into that energy. So if the energy feels oppressive or intense or whatever.
You mean more?
Well, this next several days until we get out. Exactly, James. Need more?
I feel like I'm under a giant's foot sometimes. Like,
I know, right?
Whoa.
These are rough seas. Yeah.
These are rough seas.
Rough seas. But what's amazing is that it's all about transformation. And we have an incredible guest on that's going to help us with that. No accidents.
And I met this lovely, lovely soul, this teacher, this master teacher. When I was taking a retreat in Mexico, I was traumatized getting to Mexico, as a lot of you know. And
I do know. It was awful.
It was awful. And I met this lovely lady at a meditation. We were offering a meditation group at this retreat center, this spa. It was called Rancho La Porta, and I'd never met her before, but yet she walked in the room and I saw her, she saw me, we just acknowledged each other. But she brought us, about 50 of us, through a wonderful meditation and deep healing. And one of the things she talked about was in that time, your future self. And it changed my trauma. I was really traumatized by my trip there, to hope. And the title of my next book is called The Art of Hope. And it's because of our guest here that did that. And since then, we just connected. We knew each other right away. And I've been to her place up near Santa Barbara. And she's an amazing, incredible being and master teacher. And her name is Anne Van de Water. So Anne would like to bring you on board here. And there she is.
Hi,
Anne.
Hi, Anne.
I want to diminish you by giving them the correct title. So how would you title what you do? Because you do so much.
Well, I have to whittle it down to I'm a life and a business coach, a health and a wellness teacher, and a spiritual guide.
Wow.
So much more.
There's so much more.
The essentialist version of it.
Oh my God. I love that you say you're a transformation junkie.
I am. I have one mentor at the beginning of every single workshop or seminar he does, and he says, is anyone going through a transformation right now? And my answer is always, when are we not going through a transformation? It's just the nature of existence.
Right.
True.
Right.
And you specialize also in human design. Tell us about that.
Yes. So my work is called True Self-Mastery. And one of the tools that I use when I work with my clients and students is something that I call True Self-Mastery readings. And it's a blend of human design, the gene keys, and the north and the south node of astrology. It's the most ancient wisdom and the most modern wisdom put together. Vedic astrology, Western astrology, the Kabbalah, the energy systems of the East, quantum physics, and the I Ching. And my work is all about helping people to become masters of being their truest, deepest, highest self, and to slough off all of the not true self energy. And so these bodies of wisdom, when I combine them all together, is one of the ways that I help people by giving them, it's kind of like your blueprint, your cosmic blueprint, or the owner's manual that you wish you'd been given, or your parents wish that they'd been given when you were born, so that you can stay aligned with who you truly are and why you're truly here and what matters most to you, so that you can then bring your gifts and make a positive contribution on the planet.
Right. And so they're not wasting their lifetime.
That's right. Because it's so precious. The chances of even having this lifetime it's such a miracle. And to be able to stay connected to who you really are is one of the great victories of this life. So that's one of the tools that I use to help people.
And I had a reading or session, I guess you'd say, with you, and it was pretty amazing. And you went deep, and it was as if you went inside and turned me out, inside out, and revealed things that I knew deep within myself.
Yes. And that's what's so amazing about these systems of wisdom, and also just being in the presence of someone who, all I really want for everyone is to be connected to your true self, because it is the best feeling in existence. And the number one regret of the dying is that they didn't live a life true to themselves and didn't relate with people, places, and things as their authentic self. So when we can be in the presence of people that just are fully loving us and supporting us and being who we truly are, it's just a balm for the soul. And it's so healing for any trauma that we've experienced where we haven't been loved and supported for being who we are.
Yeah, absolutely. So I know your work really is not just transformative, but you do deep healing for trauma.
Healing.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's a huge part of the work. A lot of what I call my work is reparenting, and it's a triple entendre, because I step in for a while with the people that I work with, and I am like a benevolent caregiver who's here to help you to connect to your original soul's purpose, your original core values, and your guiding principles, and your own sacred laws, and your vision for your life, and the gifts that you've come to bring here. And I step in as a benevolent caregiver to help people to transform their vibration with daily self-love and self-care, all of the health and wellness like nutrition and meditation and movement and breath work and prayer and affirmation and physical cleansing and rest and relaxation and sleeping, all those things that we need to help us clear stress and tension and heavy energy, and to heal and restore ourselves and to generate that life force energy that we need to manifest our visions and to be of service in the world. And then I help people to consciously create the life that is aligned for them, that's authentically aligned with who they are, so that at the end of every single day of life, and then at the end of life, you feel like, yes, I showed up as who I am, which is the greatest gift that I feel that we can give the planet. And so it's reparenting, but it's also repair, because it's sloughing off all of those, I would say, homogenized ways of being that we've taken in to either to survive or to belong. And those are two of the core wounds that we all deal with is, can I really be myself and have my foundational needs met? And can I really be myself and fit in and belong and be part of the family, the soul family, the tribe? And then it's the repair, which is the bringing back together, the pairing back together, body, mind, heart, soul, and spirit, so that you are whole and you are complete. within yourself. So that's a lot of the work that I do with people, and it's very multifaceted, and I have many different tools that I use to help support everyone in what.
Well, Anne, when I was working with you, the session I had with you was just for people to understand it. When you were working, and I'm an observer, and I can compare it to, for people to get an idea, was in the Wizard of Oz when they go to Oz and they're all cleaning up the Tin Man and Scarecrow, and they're all repairing them and putting back together again. It was kind of like that feeling. And then I noticed when you were working, you definitely step aside and you're a vessel, and all this light came through you. And it was just this light creature, maybe you could say alien, but I would say whatever, that you were just there, and it was just pretty amazing. The modulations, the levels of healing, and Anne does it in such a humble manner that it's just, you feel, and everybody watch at the end, she's going to do healing for us, just saying, so stick around. But yeah, you really, the way you work is the way they use you. It's amazing.
Thank you.
So when somebody comes to you, Anne, do they talk to you about their trauma? Where do you begin?
Yeah. So people come to me in different ways. It's either through a one-on-one session or a group. And let's say if someone comes to me for a one-on-one session, first of all, I ask them why they are here. What is your purpose of being here? What brought you to me? And then I ask, what is really troubling you? What is most challenging for you in your life right now? Because that's usually why we ask for help, is because we're experiencing a problem, we are going through a trauma, we're experiencing an upset, and I want to know about where people are and be able to support them in that. And then I ask, what do you most want to clear and release and let go of? And then what do you most want to heal or harmonize or reconnect with? And then what do you want to create? What do you want to manifest in your life? And then I say, 1 year from now, how do you want your life to be? And then we go all the way to the end of life. And I have people visualize that at the very end of their life, they're looking back on their whole entire life and they feel like, wow, I did it. Mission accomplished. I can let go now with peace. And then we go into what I call authentic alignment, which is I help people to create their one-of-a-kind, unique life purpose statement. And our life purpose, a lot of people think that it's our vocation, but I like to think of it as what deeply fulfills us 24/7, no matter where we are and who we're with. Despite the changes that always are happening in life, it's like who we know ourselves to be at the core of our being. And then I help people to get clear about their core values or their guiding principles, their own golden rules. Then I help people get clear about their message that they want to remind themselves of every single day so they stay on track with themselves, and that they feel is so important that they would share it with others, because we all are messengers and we're all constantly communicating with each other. And then I help people get clear about their big vision for their life, for every single area of their life. What do they want to create? And if we think of our lives as like the tree of life, I consider those 4 things to be the root system. And then I help people to create their trunk. And the trunk of the tree is all of the health and the wellness, the daily self-love and self-care, and what I call self-worth practices that we do to take care of ourselves physically, mentally, emotionally, on a soul and on a spiritual level. And I call that vibration transformation. It's how we transform our vibration so that we're a vibrational match for our purpose and our values and our message and our vision. And then from there, we grow the limbs of the tree, which are all the different areas of our life, our home, our relationships, our vocation, our finances, our personal development, our travel and adventure, our creative expression and hobbies, and then our soul and our spiritual life. And the reason that I use that model of the tree is that we know that we, just like nature, go through all of these different seasons of our life. And sometimes the branches of the tree have fruits and flowers, and we feel like, wow, everything's amazing. And then sometimes we go through winters where we're like, whoa, the limbs are kind of bare. And just like nature, if we can remember to take care of our daily physical, mental, emotional, soul, spiritual wellness, and if we can stay connected to those 4 roots of our purpose, values, message, and our vision, then we stay connected. Then we stay grounded. Then we feel like, okay, just like you were saying earlier, like, okay, kids, there's some waves that are coming. Mm-hmm. But if we can stay grounded when those big waves and those big winds come, then we can feel like everything's okay. And I really feel that that is a key on the planet right now, because we are in a massive awakening. We are in a huge ascension. We are in a transformational portal that is off the charts. And we need those things that are like, oh, chop wood, carry water, grounded, rooted,
yes,
stable, steady.
It's true.
Yeah.
Wow.
Boy, I so understand what you were talking about with the fruits on the trees. I live now on a farm. I'm from Los Angeles, but I live now on a farm out in the rural Wisconsin. And I walked out today and I've got apples on the tree, which I'm so happy to see. And I've got grapes forming in, in our grapes where we have our grapes, and tomatoes are growing. And, in 4 months or 5 months, they won't be there.
That's right.
So I love the way you said that. Oh my gosh.
And you also work with Radionics. Is that right?
That's another very esoteric.
What is that? I don't know what that even is.
I have a magical machine that can send frequencies to people that will balance out imbalances. And what I've learned about it is that it works best when you combine it with everything that I just talked about.
Sure.
And it's not I don't consider it a magic, the magic bullet. I don't like that. The magic wand. Okay, that's better than bullet.
Yeah.
But
bring bullets into the conversation. But I only do that work with people when they've done a lot of foundational work with me, sure, because it activates 0 point energy. 0 point energy is the energy that clears what's not harmonious, balances what is, and activates what is needed.
Oh, we could call that like Pluto. Like it just doesn't care. Boom.
Yes. Super Jupiterian, because it's super expansive and it creates a lot of life force energy. Yes.
I'm going to interrupt you if you don't mind, because there was an interesting conversation we had right before we went on, and Kelly's doing a workshop on Lemuria. And I was driving to see my puppies the other day, and I had to call Kelly up because it said, "You're not going to believe what I'm seeing right now. There's a place called the Fellowship of Lemuria Fellowship." And Kelly looked it up and got a lot of information and said to Anne about Lemuria, and she goes,
wait, no, Anne said, no, she brought up a cup, or what is that? A Lemurian cup? A Lemurian?
I call this is my crystal chalice that I'll play in a little bit, but I always call it my Lemurian sound crystal chalice.
Well, then we started having this really deep conversation about our lifetimes in Lemuria.
Yes.
And you said you felt like this is the work that you do there. And I feel the same way about it.
Yeah, the work that I do on the planet right now is the exact same work I did in Lemuria. And I remembered my Lemurian lifetime when I was on the island of Bali, one of my favorite islands on the planet. And I was doing a breath work ceremony with one of my best friends, Christabel Zamor of Breath of Bliss. And in this ceremony, I remembered my lifetime in Lemuria. And it was my role in Lemuria to greet every soul when they were born and to say, welcome.
Huh. Wow.
We're so happy you're here. Who are you? Why are you here? What's your purpose? What are your values? What's the message that you've come to share? What are you here to create? And what is the gift that you've come to deliver? And then I would stay connected to all of the souls of Lemuria during their entire lifetime to make sure that they stayed connected to who they are and why they're here. And the reason that it was so incredibly important was that if even one soul forgot who they were, and even if one soul disconnected, it would start to create disharmony in the entire society. Kind of like in an orchestra, if one musician starts to go, it can create a discordance in the whole entire orchestra. And that is what I feel is so incredibly important right now on the planet, is that each and every one of us focus on our own self-mastery.
I actually wrote that today, Anne.
Did you really?
I swear to God. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. It has to be. Has to be. We have to focus on ourselves with this, our own mastery with it.
Yes.
That's a true Lemurian tenet.
Yes. Woo, I just got the chills.
Kellee, do you know what your job was in Lemuria, Kellee?
Well, I wasn't a greeter. I was one to make sure everybody was balanced, everybody was taken care of, everybody knew what they needed. I always made sure everybody had what they needed. Yeah.
Wow.
You were like Julie, the cruise director on the left.
Totally. Totally. If you need this, go here. Go here. Oh no, I'm definitely from the Love Boat. There's no doubt about it.
Love Boat.
My favorite show ever.
Lemuria.
Right. James and I were in Tahiti together, and we were on Moorea, right?
Moorea, which is Lemuria.
Yes.
Moorea, Lemuria, and it's that's where it was, and I felt such a connection there.
Yeah.
Oh my
My
God.
favorite island. I haven't been to Bali yet, but Lemuria really, Moorea is really incredible to me.
Oh God! I mean, it's so fun to meet fellow people from the same place and that deeply understand it. I so appreciate you and your work here.
Oh, I appreciate.
It's a big job.
It's a big job.
It is, and that's what we came to. That's why we're here.
I know.
And
I know.
we're being it, and we're doing it.
Yeah, it's so true.
But it's great to recognize each other. I mean, like when I saw Anna, it was like a recognition on some soul.
He told me immediately.
Yeah, I mean, it was like
immediately.
As soon as you walked in, you went and you said hello to me. I don't know if you remember, but you just waved to me, and I was one of the two guys in the class. But and it was just we connected. It was like we know each other.
And what was so amazing about it, and I know that this is going to sound totally bizarre to a lot of people, but I didn't know who you were.
No idea.
In the world, James. I just knew you as a soul. I was like, oh, there you are. It's so
soul recognition.
It was
there you are.
100%.
Yes. Yeah.
And Margaret says, drop the mic. Oh my God.
And it was really a soul recognition, and we got along right away. It was like, oh, where have you been? Oh my God. Yeah.
I know. I called James my cosmic playmate.
Oh, that's the best.
Constantly giggling and laughing.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I know.
Oh, yes.
But it's the best to be with. So much fun to be with.
You have to have joy. We talked about this yesterday, and joy. You have to have joy in life. You have to have that child within.
Yes. Yes.
So I'm curious about Gene Keys. What is that?
Oh yeah. Okay. So, oh my gosh. The Gene Keys was channeled and created by a wizard, a magical genius of a man named Richard Rudd. And he was student of Ra Uru Hu's. And Ra Uru Hu is the one who channeled human design. And it is said, as we know, that if we devote ourselves to something for 7 years or 10,000 hours, that we become a master of it. So this is what Richard did with human design, is he studied it, he'd embodied it, he taught it, he did readings, he went for a massive deep dive into it. And after about 7 years or so, he mastered the system, and then it started to grow and evolve in his own consciousness. And he then started to get downloaded and received a lot of directive about how to take human design and apply it to specific parts of your life, so that it wasn't just like this overall blueprint, but how to apply it to very specific areas of your life. And what he realized is that we are all walking on what he calls the golden path. And that as we walk through our own inner life, and as we walk through our outer life, that we have this wisdom that's encoded in our genes, and it's encoded in our DNA. And within our DNA and within our genes, we have all of these different frequencies. We have shadow frequencies, the things that challenge us, and we find them within ourselves, and we find them in the world of people, places, and things. We also have gift frequencies, which are our higher potential. And we have what he calls cities or superpowers that we develop as we walk through the path of our life and become conscious choosers of the vibration that we take on, either in our beliefs and our thoughts, our feelings, our words, our actions, our ways of relating to people, places, and things. One of the most fascinating things about it is learning about the shadow frequencies, because we live, as we know, on a planet that is a yin-yang planet. There's darkness and there's light. There's day and there's night. And one of my great revelations that I've kind of like grokked after trying for such a long time is this, like, whoa, it really is 50-50. Like half the time, it really can just be challenging. It's not all sparkle ponies and rainbows all the time. And so what's so genius about the gene keys is that Richard gives us this space to contemplate the shadow frequencies. And what he says is that shadow frequencies are just shadow frequencies. It's just like if you look outside and the sun is shining on a tree, it's going to make a shadow. And he said, but oftentimes we repress the shadow. And I always say when we repress shadow frequencies, that creates disharmony inside of us. We end up with physical, mental, emotional, soul, spiritual disharmony, because it's not natural to repress these energies. And of course, we repress them because we don't know how to process them. And that's a very natural thing, or we don't have the love and the support or a benevolent person there who is creating a sweet and sacred space for us to be present with the challenges that we're facing. He says the other thing, though, is that we can react to shadow frequencies. And I always say this creates a lot of drama or disharmony in the external world of people, places, and things. So we've all know what it's like when we're like, no, I can't feel that. I can't feel that. And then you end up feeling, very repressed or depressed, or you totally freak out and you say, oh, no, you didn't. And then it creates this massive drama with the people in our lives. And so the third thing is this, I'm going to sit with the shadow frequency. And some of my favorite sayings are pressure makes diamonds, irritation makes pearls. Out of the out of the mud comes the lotus. No storm, no rainbow. But what happens when you bring your higher potential, when you bring your gift, it could be tapping. I love, appreciate, and accept myself just the way I am, even if I'm sad, even if I'm angry, even if I'm scared, even if I'm frustrated. I love myself, and I'm going to be here with myself. That's not repressing, and it's not reacting. It's just being there and bringing your higher potential, bringing your love, bringing your compassion, bringing your presence to the shadow. And when you can do that, that is what creates the pearl. That's what creates the gem. That's what your capacity to just be there in that moment with yourself. And that's what creates our superpowers. And that's what creates our cities. So the Gene Keys is about walking through life, through your life's work, on your evolutionary path, taking care of your health and wellness, staying connected to your purpose, walking through your relationships with people, places, and things, and then bringing your work out into the world so that you have true prosperity, which isn't only financial. It's like a prosperous soul where you feel like I am giving my gifts in the world. And there's reciprocity because I'm bringing the value of all of the things that I've faced that have been so challenging personally, and I have alchematized them and I've transformed them into these gifts that I can give to others because I've walked the path before you. So the Gene Keys are just this brilliant, I mean, he's one of the most extraordinary, brilliant geniuses I've ever read his work, studied all of his work, and he's created this amazing body of wisdom that helps us to navigate the yin-yang 50-50-ness of life with a lot more grace than
it brings a wholeness of our being. It brings into the wholeness of who we are.
Yes,
both
it's
sides.
yes,
The dark
it's
side of the moon, the light side of the moon. Right?
that's right. It's just realness, and it's this guide map. And so just like with human design or with astrology, where you use your birth time, your birthplace, and your birth date to get a reading, you do the same thing with the Gene Keys. And so in my True Self Mastery readings, I combine the Gene Keys and human design, and then the north of and south node of astrology, which we know are about what we've mastered as a soul and what we're here to master. And another thing that is really amazing about human design, which I feel is one of the most important keys, is you learn about your inner authority, your inner guidance system that helps you to make wise, aligned choices. So that, because we know that the results that we get in our life are the result of the choices we make, the choices in belief and thought and feeling and word and action and relationships with people, places, and things. So I'm so grateful for these amazing ancient and modern systems of wisdom that are here to guide us and support us on our journeys.
I call myself, and I'm going to call you this, you're a soul cracker.
Yeah.
You go in and you crack the soul. Okay, this is what's going on. This is where we need to be. This is
bring
where
out the light, the crack.
Bring out absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Awareness. You bring out the mirror for that person to look at, reflection of who they are. I mean, my reading did that. You brought me out both sessions. The first session when we first met, it was, and I'm very, I'm open-minded, but I'm a little skeptical here and there, but I just released and let it be. And it was just like a mirror coming out and reflecting back, whether it's my higher self telling me this awareness, this knowledge. You created that sacred space for that to happen.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Amazing.
And that's what I always do at the beginning of any session. If it's a coaching and wellness and spiritual guidance session, if I'm leading a guided meditation, like when we first met, if it's a true self-mastery reading, I always call upon our truest, deepest, highest selves, mine and yours, to be present with us. Call in all of our guides and masters, all of nature and the nature spirits, all of the benevolent forces to please lead us and guide us and direct us and protect us, so that we are working together to channel the higher frequencies and can have that clear guidance and feel like we are seen.
And I have a question for you.
Yeah.
Which is interesting. So let's say you have a client, someone comes to you for a session, and they know exactly what they want to hear, or what the kind of session that they want, but you know they need something entirely different.
Yeah.
Would you say to that person, I'm going to give you something different? Or no, for the little bit I know of you, you'd probably incorporate that without them kind of knowing it, right?
Yeah.
Because
Yes.
that's who you are. Yeah.
I let people know, just like at the beginning of our time here together, you said, what is it that you do? And I said, I'm a life and a business coach, a health and a wellness teacher, and a spiritual guide. But I always let people know that I am an intuitive, and that I'm eclectic and multifaceted, and that I have a very big bag of tricks, and that I meet them in the moment where they are. And just like you said, you're a soul cracker, I call myself a soul tracker. And so tracking. And I say, I never know what's going to happen. This is not preordained. I haven't figured out, no class, nothing is ever figured out before I do it. I arrive and I tune in with that individual soul or those groups of people, and I ask to be a channel, and I ask to be led and guided so that I use the tools that are going to help them to receive the information that they need and to help solve the problem that they are experiencing, and ultimately reconnect with themselves, because that is the best feeling in the world. And I never, ever know what's going to happen. And that's what makes it so much fun.
And Anne, one of the greatest things about you, which I only know a short time, but I know this. I know your soul. One of the greatest things, and I've taught many students around the world. One of the greatest things I admire about you, or I just acknowledge, is that you're so open. You're completely open to receiving however that vessel is going to be receiving. You put no limitations on there. You don't close. You're completely it's not even a human thing. You're just completely open to that soul. And I haven't met many people like that.
And I want to add something to that, James. And you're solid. You're very grounded.
Grounded. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm doing my best to be super grounded, rooted, still steady, and completely cosmic and esoteric and out there, and to be a bridge between heaven and earth, because we are star children and we're doing
You're
our
speaking my language, That's my language.
Yeah. And you know what? I don't want to choose. So I'm
exactly. And you don't need to.
No.
You did enough by choosing to be here in this lifetime.
Yes. It's so
you can do it all.
Kellee White Soul Cracker would be a great title for your book. There you go.
And then you could come out with a line of crackers.
I wasn't. I was a professional chef. I could do that.
Me too.
We just start from the very beginning and then just.
I know.
Okay,
James.
James.
You and James were like two of my new besties.
Oh my God! I'm stunned beyond. I have to ask you, what is an essentialist?
Oh, okay. So I used to be a maximalist. Like I had everything in the material world. And then natural disasters taught me to not have so much stuff and not be so attached to stuff. So it took a while, but I became a minimalist. And then I started calling myself an opulent minimalist because, as you can tell, it kind of, I think like I only have one pair of shoes kind of person. I'm like, I have the coupes, but I have them in 4 different sizes, right? So then it was actually on that trip to Rancho La Puerta when I met James that there was another teacher there, and he was teaching about, I thought he was a minimalist, and I said, are you a minimalist? And he said, no, I'm an essentialist. And I realized, oh, that's what I am. I have what is essential. So I switched my title to I'm an opulent essentialist.
That's great.
And she is.
We have to come up with our own terms for things because the world hasn't, if the world hasn't come up with a term that describes something, then we have to come up with it.
Of course. They don't have the language. They don't have the language.
It's our language of light.
So would you mind doing a healing for us, a healing session? Would you be kind enough to
Sure.
and explain to people what actually is going to happen or how we should enter this space?
This is a handheld crystal chalice, and I'm going to be playing it, and I'm going to be chanting. And I'm wondering, what do you, Kellee, feel would be the best medicine, the best energy to bring onto the planet right now to help balance and harmonize these cosmic frequencies?
Going with compassion.
Okay.
Nice.
So I am then going to sing a beautiful song for Kuan Yin, the goddess of love and compassion. And I'm going to sing Om Mani Padme Hum, which is a Buddhist chant that means the jewel in the heart of the lotus. So this is this brings in the energy of love and compassion as we all go through the mud and bloom our lotuses and go through the pressure that makes the jewels and the diamonds that we all are. compassion, forgiveness, gratitude.
Wow. It's really powerful.
Beautiful. I got rippling all over.
Me too.
Like sparkly. It's going out with sparkles everywhere.
Sound vibration is one of the most powerful tools that we have for navigating these extraordinary times.
What would you recommend for people to listen to during these extraordinary times? Maybe to keep them grounded or in gratitude or something.
Simple.
You haven't recorded that, I assume.
No.
Not yet. Okay, but you will.
I have 3 CDs out. One is of songs I've written. One is of Vedic chants, and another is a combination of both. But I find let's go for accessibility, just theta brainwave music is one of the most powerful things that you can do. Right here, this brain is our master computer. And if we can keep it upgraded, if we can balance out the brain waves, then it can help us greatly.
That's true.
So if you can go on to YouTube and search for theta brainwave music, and it can be theta brainwave music for relieving stress, theta brainwave music for abundance, theta brainwave music for love and compassion, theta brainwave music for meditation or sleep. And there are so many extraordinary sound healers that are out there. And then some of them are also visionary artists, and there will be beautiful visuals that you can watch.
I've done it for the past week, actually, on my YouTube, my living room. I put theta wave music on, and I've seen the illustrations, and they have it for everything, sleeping and healing and nervous tension and stress. So yes, and just validation, and thank you. Yeah.
Yes.
Is that weird? That's so weird. But it's not.
I call it synchro destiny.
Synchro destiny. That's great.
That's amazing. Linda Miller says you helped her with her, I'm not sure if I never pronounced this correctly, tinnitus?
Tinnitus,
Tinnitus? How do you pronounce that?
Tinnitus, yeah. Yeah, the sound vibration is so wise. It goes into our body, our minds, our hearts on a soul level, into the memories, into the genes, into the DNA, into the trauma, into the imprints. And it activates that 0 point energy. Whatever is needed to be cleared in that moment that the sound vibration comes in, it will help to clear it. And it can help to clear pain. I've had people have like spontaneous clearings of headaches, chronic pain. It is super healing. So you can feel this light emanating, the vibration emanating through you, balancing and harmonizing you. And then it will create and generate a lot of life force energy. And a lot of people get massive downloads and visions and insights and guidance and remember things. I've had people say, I've been in therapy for years and years and years, and then I heard that sound and I had a revelation about something that I'd been struggling with for years, and I feel more at peace. And so I feel that there are so many different modalities that we all do, and we never know how the cosmic soup is going to all come together and create the elixir that's going to help to alleviate our pain and suffering and bring greater peace and healing, and just give us that feeling of it's all going to be okay and I'm connected and I can expand. So
there's a great question here, Anne, from Dawn Solomon. She says, can grief be cleared?
yes. And just like I was saying about the shadow frequencies, my feeling with all emotion, and especially grief, is that we have to feel it to heal it. And that the only way through is in. And as much as I know we all just want to we don't want to feel it sometimes because it just hurts so badly when we have someone who loves us and is just like, I'm here for you. Or we have these different modalities that we can clear these things. But the main thing with grief is just feeling it. And I think that the art of experiencing grief is creating that space to be present with it while not letting it pull us down and drown us, and to not spiritually override it. Grief is a profound teacher. It's been one of my greatest teachers. And it has so much wisdom if we're able to be with it. And I often feel the reason that we go through, I know we all are, and everyone that is here is a leader and a luminary and a light worker. We all want to help be of service on the planet right now. And it's oftentimes our own journey through experiencing our own grief that we then can support others in going through it.
Very true.
As well. And I feel that on the hero's journey, it's oftentimes once we have experienced it ourselves and then we can help another, that is when there is the biggest level of clearing that happens, when we bring that gift back home to where we started from.
And this sounds like a strange question. What's your Mercury in Western? What's your Mercury, planet Mercury in? Just curious.
Well,
I mean, let me just put it this way. You express yourself so beautifully and so succinct. You're so succinct in your expression of communication that is just everything you say is like a story. It's like beginning, middle, and end. It's so succinct. So I was just curious because your communication skills are incredible.
Thank you. In human design, my personality profile is a 5/1. So I'm here to be a messenger. I was born to be a leader. I was born to be a messenger and born to bring these teachings out. And then as a 1, I'm here to do it in the most down to earth, practical way possible so that the messages are universal. And so I'm doing my best to live in alignment with my design. And then in my Mayan galactic signature is called the Red Cosmic Skywalker. And that is the angelic messenger. So these are all things that are that I chose on a soul level. And I know that we all have chosen different things to embody on a soul level, and being a communicator and a messenger is one of mine. It's fun. I love words.
Well, we just love that you were here today. We just really love you.
Yeah.
You're amazing.
Great.
Just extraordinary.
I love you both dearly.
Blessing us. Yeah, blessing us with your presence.
Really. So grateful.
Thank you both so much.
Wow.
Such a pleasure.
And you're open for sessions if people want to do sessions. You have openings for sessions, or how does that work? Go to your website. Yeah.
Yeah. So the way that I work is people can do a 1 hour true self mastery reading with me, or they can do a 30-minute complimentary consultation so that I can tell people about my 3-month coaching, wellness, and spiritual guidance program. And then I teach at different retreat centers, and I will soon be relaunching True Self Mastery Academy, which are groups. I love working with groups. And I also
I'm
train.
going to be a groupie if that's okay.
I'm a groupie of yours. Let's be groupies.
Be groupies of each other.
For each other's groupies.
Oh, gosh.
Thank you, Anne. Incredible.
Really. Thank you so much.
Brilliant.
Thank you. Such a pleasure to be here with both of you all. I feel very, very honored to be in your presence.
Oh, gosh.
Sending
Honor is all ours.
love to everyone.
Thank you, everybody.
Thanks, everybody. Have a great week, everybody.
Great week. Thank you. Thank you, Kellee. Thanks for that.
Thanks, James.
You've been listening to Both Sides Now and Beyond, featuring spiritual medium and master teacher James Van Praagh and spiritual medium and psychotherapist Kellee White.
That was great. Maybe we changed some lives.
And maybe opened up some minds.
Which way do I turn?
Right. I mean left.
The James and Kellee Show.